I never thought I'd be writing one of these posts, but here I am. Sorry for the long title, but I couldn't figure out how to condense the absurdity of my situation. Some background. I, 34 grew up in what you'd call humble beginnings. My parents divorced when I was 8, and my mom struggled to support me and my younger sister, 31F, on her teaching salary. We lived in a cramped 2-bedroom apartment, and I remember how she would sometimes skip meals to make sure we had enough. Despite the hardships, she pushed me to excel in school, telling me education was my ticket to a better life. Fast forward to today. I took her advice seriously and busted my ass through college, got a scholarship for my MBA, and eventually founded a successful tech company that was acquired 3 years ago. I won't say the exact figure, but let's just say I'm now in a position where I don't need to worry about money again. The first thing I did after the acquisition was buy my mom a 4-bedroom house in an upscale neighborhood. Nothing outlandish, not a mansion, but a beautiful home with a garden she always dreamed of having. I also set up accounts to cover all utilities, property taxes, and maintenance. My sister moved in with her because she was going through a divorce and needed support. I pay for her therapy and help with legal fees too. I also bought my mom a new car, set up a monthly allowance that's triple what she made as a teacher, and funded a vacation account so she could finally travel. She retired early because of this arrangement, and I was genuinely happy to give back to the woman who sacrificed so much for us. Everything seemed fine until last weekend's family gathering for my uncle's birthday. Mom invited the extended family, aunts, uncles, cousins, to her house, which I paid for a barbecue, which I also paid for, though I didn't mind at all. I drove 3 hours to be there, bringing gifts and additional food. The evening was going well until I overheard my mom talking to my aunt in the kitchen. My aunt was complimenting the house, and Mom said, "Oh, it's nice, but you wouldn't believe the strings attached. My name thinks because he pays the bills, he gets to have opinions on everything. Last week, he suggested I fix the garden drainage system before the rainy season. As if I don't know how to take care of my own home." My aunt laughed and said, "Well, that's how these successful kids are. They give with one hand and control with the other." Then my mom delivered the line that knocked the wind out of me. "Honestly, these days he gives us nothing but headaches." I almost wish we were back in the apartment sometimes. I stood there, frozen, as years of working 80-hour weeks to build my business flashed before my eyes. All the times I'd skipped vacations to save money that I could one day share with my family. The apartment I lived in that was smaller than her current guest house, so I could afford to pay for everything she had now. I walked into the kitchen, my hands shaking slightly. "Mom, can I talk to you for a minute?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. She must have seen something in my expression because her smile faltered. "Not now, honey. I'm busy with the dessert," she replied, turning back to my aunt. I should have walked away, collected my thoughts. But something in me snapped. "Actually, I think now is the perfect time since you were just discussing how I give you nothing but headaches." The kitchen fell silent. My aunt had the decency to look embarrassed, but my mom's expression hardened. "Were you eavesdropping on us? I was coming to ask if you needed help, but I guess what you really need is relief from my opinions about the house I bought and maintain." My sister walked in, immediately sensing the tension. "What's going on?" Mom jumped in before I could answer. "Your brother is having one of his controlling moments again. Just because he helps us out financially doesn't mean he owns us." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "Helps out financially? Mom, I bought your house. I pay every bill. I fund your entire lifestyle. See what I mean?" she said to my sister. "He's holding it over our heads again." To my shock, my sister nodded. "You do bring it up a lot, bro. We're grateful, but it sometimes feels like we can't make decisions without your approval." My uncle and 2 cousins had wandered in by this point, drawn by the rising voices. My uncle, always the peacemaker, tried to intervene. Now, let's not ruin a good party. He's just looking out for his mom and sister." My cousin Jake shook his head. "Nah, I get where they're coming from. Rich people always think they know better than everyone else." I looked around the room at my family, people enjoying food I paid for, in a house I bought, many of whom I'd helped financially in various ways over the years. And not one of them was on my side. "You know what?" I said, my voice eerily calm. "You're absolutely right. I've been such a burden with my financial support and occasional suggestions about home maintenance. Let me rectify that immediately." My mom must have realized she'd pushed too far because her expression changed. "Don't be dramatic. We appreciate what you do. We're just saying." No. I understand perfectly," I interrupted. "In fact, let me make an announcement." I walked into the living room where the rest of the family was gathered and cleared my throat. "Everyone, I have something to say." The room quieted as I stood there, looking at all the faces of my extended family. For the past 3 years, I've been fortunate enough to provide for my mom and sister. I bought this house, The car's in the driveway, and I pay all the bills. I've helped many of you as well. College tuition for my cousins, medical bills, business loans. I did it because I love my family and wanted to share my success. My mom tried to interrupt, but I held up my hand. However, I've just been informed that my financial support comes with too many headaches. So effective immediately, I will no longer be the source of those headaches. Mom, sister, you have 60 days to figure out your new living arrangements or start paying the mortgage yourselves. Everyone else, consider your loans due according to the original terms we agreed upon. The room erupted into chaos. My mom's face went pale, and my sister started crying. My uncle stepped forward, hands raised in a placating gesture. Now, son, let's not make rash decisions. Your mom didn't mean anything by it. You know how people talk sometimes. My cousin Jake, who moments ago had been condemning my rich people attitude, was suddenly very concerned. Dude, about that loan for my food truck. I was counting on the extension we discussed. I remained calm, despite the storm around me. I'm not being rash. I'm simply respecting everyone's apparent desire for independence from my financial control. Mom always taught me to listen when people tell you who they are. My aunt approached, her tone conciliatory. Your mother raised you alone, working 2 jobs sometimes. Surely that counts for something. It counts for everything, I replied. That's why I bought her a house, cars, and set her up for a comfortable retirement. But respect has to go both ways. My mom finally found her voice. You can't just throw us out of our home. Your home, I corrected gently. The one that's in my name, with a mortgage I pay, because you insisted it would be easier for tax purposes. And I'm not throwing you out. You have 2 months to either take over the payments or find somewhere within your budget. The reality of the situation began to sink in around the room. My sister, through tears, asked, "What about my therapy? My divorce isn't finalized yet. I'll cover the next 3 sessions to give you time to make other arrangements. The divorce attorney's final bill is already paid." My uncle tried one more angle. "What about your mother's retirement? She left her job because you promised to take care of her. She retired 5 years early because I offered to support her. She can either return to teaching or live on her actual retirement savings. Many people manage on much less." I grabbed my jacket and keys, ready to leave the party I was no longer welcome at. My mom blocked my path. "You're really going to punish your entire family over one comment?" I didn't mean it. I was just venting. I looked at her, really looked at her, and saw the woman who had sacrificed everything for me. But I also saw someone who had forgotten gratitude. "Mom, I love you. I always will. But when you said I give you nothing but headaches, you showed me that all my efforts to make your life easier are not only unappreciated but resented. That hurts more than you can imagine." Her eyes filled with tears. "I was wrong. Please don't do this. I'm not cutting you off completely. I'm adjusting the arrangement to something healthier for both of us. You'll receive a reasonable monthly allowance, enough to live comfortably if you're careful, but not enough for this house or lifestyle." As I walked to my car, family members followed, various pleas and apologies falling on deaf ears. I wasn't being vindictive. I was setting boundaries that should have been established long ago. 3 weeks later, my mom and sister moved into a modest condo I helped them find. Not purchased, just helped with the search. Mom went back to substitute teaching, and my sister got a job at a local marketing firm. Our relationship is still healing, but it's more balanced now. Sometimes, tough love is the only way to remind people of the value of what they have before they lose it.